I'm at a new park today, Conisty in Greenville. So I've just moved here, and it's a great place. Very different from Columbia, South Carolina. And something popped up the other day having to do with, well, a lot of things that you see. You see graphs, things going up and down, disease, life expectancy, earnings, economic things, stuff like that. And it's not that those statistics don't represent something to do, but my point is that they're on a linear scale, basically. They're seen as being linear. So basically, we see everything in this culture as being linear pretty much when it's not. So I've talked about progress before. Progress, we're moving forward through time on this linear model. And, things are supposed to be getting better. And it looks like maybe some are, but a lot aren't. And where does it end? Where's the end of progress? And, well, really isn't one. It's not that it's necessarily a false promise, but it's that the model doesn't represent reality. Because when it comes to linearity, nothing in the universe is linear that I know of. So, orbits are circular. All kinds of patterns are circular. Even light, which some might say, well, that's linear. It travels in a straight line. Well, actually, it curves. And given enough time, it'll return to where it began. Well, not necessarily that it began anywhere, but it will meet itself again. So anyway, you might ask, what is all that about? And if things are not really linear, then how does circularity cycles apply to us, this so-called civilization that we have? And what I would say is that it's like a clock face. And so essentially this span is about 6,000 years or so. And just as an aside, people, worry about doomsday, nuclear annihilation, climate collapse, things like that. And there again, that's something ahead on that linear model. But with the circular model, the clock goes around. It's just like your own life, You're born, tick, 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 tock, and you go around to the end. And the thing about this civilization of ours is that it too most likely has a lifespan. So people try to invent ways, to keep going forever. Oh, we're gonna go into space and be like Star Trek and keep things going. But essentially what happens ultimately is that due to human interference with the natural world, things will collapse. You will have what some call a water cycle. And there will be very large, not a bicycle, very large tidal waves, that basically wipe out everything. And then the clock has come to an end. Now, there's a lot of, poo-pooing of other cultures. We think ancient cultures are Egypt and things like that. But others speak of Atlantis, Lemuria, and so on. And I have some Lemurian experiences, which I won't go into. But at any rate, whether they're real or not, or hypothetical or fictional, it's essentially the same model that race of humans did not revere the earth, started to mess with things, and then ultimately the tidal waves came and cleaned the earth. And some survived and began the cycle again. So that seems to be a good model for the way things happen. And when it comes to this idea of Mother Earth, when you think of something like, hold on, like the loss of species, you know, and I'm not sure what the percentile is for how many species have been lost, you know, that are extinct basically in mainly in our lifetimes, but it's pretty high. So if you imagine Mother Earth as being a person, a mother, a figure, well, what does Mother Earth look like due to, say, for example, extinction of species? Well, you can amputate a lot. You know what? The fingers, the hands, part of the arms, the feet, quite a bit. So you got Mother Earth who's suffering from basically amputation, missing a whole lot. And then well, what else? And not only do you have amputation occurring, but also when it comes to man-made structures, and that is all the buildings, all the astroturf, all the you know, yards, all the parking lots, all the roads. On the figure of Mother Earth, what are those? They're essentially coatings of what, super glue, concrete, whatever, covering a large quantity of the body. So you got amputation now. You've got this sort of covering where the flesh can't breathe, can't receive sunlight. And that would be bad for any living organism. If you saw that, you would hopefully, you know, panic and be concerned about it. But at any rate, the way the humans are is that we don't see any of that necessarily, and that's why these things tend to continue. Now, this isn't all judgment of people being evil or something like that, because humanity, and the mind especially, is a sort of, hold on, where was I? Humanity is basically, as you may know, of a lot of people living in their heads, is a sort of transitional state between the natural world and, or the universe rather, and I don't know, universal consciousness or something. Well, not necessarily transitional period, but basically just kind of a wave, a ripple, like it travels away from things to experience the universe in a new way, and then ultimately the wave forms collapse back again. So you might imagine that you know, traveling away from something and then returning to it after a period of time of suffering and disconnection, that you would see it in a new way and be somewhat enlightened by that experience. So anyway, you don't have to be so worried about Armageddon, things like that, doomsday, because they seem to be part of a natural cycle. So whatever happens, the earth renews, it comes back. So anyway, that's not necessarily a free pass to, you know, wreck things and continue. But anyway, the path that we're on, things may come and there may be nothing that can be done at this point, but probably you and I won't be here. Bye.